Merry Christmas from Demeech! Today we'll be playing Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 2. This is a Mario Kart game that has never officially been re-released. Won't stop me. And it's a very cool game. Some people haven't seen the game before in action. So this is kind of a stream showcasing what the game is like. As well as, if you love Mario Kart Arcade, it's an interesting stream to do. Really, when I play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now, I don't feel anything. The game has just become so repetitive, if you put it that way, for me, where it's no longer interesting, except for the battle mode, since that's somewhat fresh. But let's see who's in the chat. Alright, Mario Master 101, hello. Mickey Mouse is here. You guys, Mickey Mouse is here. Jay Plays, we're gonna put you on a private island with only Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart 8. Also, we're gonna disable all the online features of the Wii U, that way you can't access the eShop. Or on the Switch, but I forgot about it. Maybe for you, Jay Plays. So I did play a little bit more of the game yesterday, and I did clear the Waluigi Cup, the Mario Cup, and the Bowser Cup. So we will probably get to the Rainbow Cup today, but as you can see, the roster is what you'd expect from Mario Kart. It has all the mainstays from Mario Kart 64. We got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and of course we got Toad, Wario, Donkey Kong, and Bowser. And we got a bunch of Namco characters too. And Waluigi, if you've ever seen the cabinet in real life, they actually have Waluigi as a selling point. How can you go from Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 2 where Waluigi is a selling point, but Mario Kart 7 where he's replaced by a metallic Mario? Pretty crazy, right? But anyways, we are gonna play as the Great Yellow One himself, Pac-Man. I did not see it, but I was hearing about the Spongebob Christmas special, and it looks really cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go the Donkey Kong Cup, because the cups in this game are different too. You get character cups that are themed around them, like Yoshi Cup. It's kind of based on Yoshi's Island and Luigi's Mansion, surprisingly. The Mario Cup is based on Mario Sunshine. When I think of Waluigi, the first thing I think about is robotic dinosaurs. Anyone else in the chat think of robotic dinosaurs when it comes to Waluigi? Then the Donkey Kong Cup is your standard Donkey Kong jungle track, and there's even a temple, so I think it's based on Jungle Beat. The Wario Cup is super cool. I won't say too much about it if you don't know it, but you'll see. And the Pac-Man Cup is filled with Pac-Man World tracks and based on the arcade game. So if you hear any noise in the background, that is Arnold. He is currently drinking water while I'm drinking Mountain Dew Ginger Snap, or gingerbread. It has no right being this good. Unfortunately, the only console Arnold knows how to play is the Virtual Boy. And apparently he has a copy of Mario Kart on the Virtual Boy, but he won't allow me to play it. Only he can. Yeah, I don't know where the Luigi Cup is, but it has a Waluigi Cup, so I can't be too sad, right? Mountain Dew is something you either love or you hate. My sister hates it with a passion. But, surprisingly, as much as I joke about it, I don't drink it all the time. Only on special occasions and just when, like, it's Christmas season now, so I wanted to have the Mountain Dew gingerbread before that flavor gets discontinued until maybe next year. One of my favorite flavors was Pitch Black, and I think that's no longer in production, sadly. Oh, Arnold's uncle's mom's father, first cousin twice removed, works at Nintendo. He became a, credible Nintendo insider on Twitter. Now Arnold knows better to stay away from Twitter. The only social media site he uses is MySpace. Jay Plays, that's what you get for celebrating Hanukkah. Not only that, you get 8 days to celebrate. Meanwhile, the rest of us already just have 1 day for Christmas, but still, where's Justin Berti? So, as much as I love Justin Berti's announcement in the game, if Justin Berti was talking in the game, I wouldn't be able to answer questions. But he's always in the intro. He's in nearly every video that's scripted. The shorts he's not in, because those videos... With the shorts, I try to put a lot of effort into them. And yes, I'm looking forward to watching that South Park special. I'm wondering if you can get a free trial of Paramount Plus, because I haven't gotten it yet. I had no interest in watching Camp Coral, and my friend was telling me that the iCarly thing was interesting to say the least. It essentially is iCarly ramped up to, you know, cater to the audience who grew up watching it. It's pretty interesting they chose iCarly instead of something like Victorious, which kind of needed a reboot because that series ended with not even a true finale. I don't know why they canceled Victorious, because that was one of Nickelodeon's most popular shows. I'm guessing it probably had to do with drama with Ariana Grande. That's what I heard. Very similar reason as Sam and Cat. Or maybe Ariana Grande just wanted to leave and focus on her music career. You can play Mario Party Superstars and talk about how great that is, but when it comes to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I can't play it anymore. We all need to just pitch in and give all our copies of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to Jay Plays. They'd go to good use. That's the only game he ever plays. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the South Park specials. At least you're man enough to admit you like Camp Coral. Someone who just says their opinion and says, I like it, but I do understand the hate it gets. That is what you call a good take. Also, I remember on Family Guy, Quagmire dressed up as Napoleon Dynamite for Halloween, and Peter said, you seem like the type of character that's quirky and others would find funny, but others might not, or you seem like something that people who are quirky would find funny, but others might not find funny, or something like that. No, Sam and Cat came out in 2013. I think Victorious ended in 2014. I watched one episode of The Patrick Show, and I think T&D described it the best. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse on crack. And if you've seen Pee-wee's Playhouse before, that's a show where the furniture talks, he has a genie, and it's just wild. And if you make something even more wild than that, you know something is wrong. I didn't find it funny either. This is a Patrick Show. But, yeah, I didn't like it. I'll give you a good example of why the Patrick Show doesn't work, but Nick2751 is here. Good to see you, Pac-Fan number 2751. Soshi is a huge Pac-Man fan. Nobody is a bigger Pac-Man fan than Tim. And I'm a big Pac-Man fan. So, it's good to see people have the same love for the Great Yellow One that we do. Also, I gotta thank everyone. The rise and fall of Pac-Man is doing phenomenal. It is getting not just quite a lot of views, but it's consistently getting views. Usually with videos, sometimes they'll get views in a short span and then they'll kind of fade into obscurity. But this one specifically is still being watched. And I won't say too much, but if something sells well or does well, you make a sequel to it. I'll just leave it at that. But I think you might be able to guess what I'm referring to. Yeah, I should stream Mario Party Superstars, considering that, for one, it's the first good Mario Party in nearly a decade, and two, the online is actually pretty good. I've definitely been playing a lot of that game, and I didn't get Super Mario Party, but I'm very happy that the game turned out to be great. If you can't make a good new Mario Party, just do what the old ones did. In that case, I think it's perfectly fine, though, because a lot of the newer Mario Party games we know weren't good. It seems quite a lot of people like Mario Kart 9. I mean Mario Party 9. Man, I'm thinking about Mario Kart too much. It's only a matter of time till I appear on Totally Obsessed, but with Mario Party 9, a lot of people didn't like the game, but a lot of people do. I know a lot of people who like Mario Party 9. It seems everybody hates Mario Party 10 though, but I don't understand why they'd like Mario Party 9 but not 10, considering that 10 is essentially just an extension of that game, and it has the Bowser Party mode and the Amiibo Party stuff. If you played Mario Party 9 and 10, I'd love to hear why Mario Party 9 is good, but Mario Party 10 isn't, because I'm very interested to hear why. Mario Party, oddly enough, isn't a series that I really got into, mostly because my friends and siblings can be sore losers. I remember we were playing Mario Party 5 with my sister, and she got upset that someone won at the end because of luck. But that's what Mario Party is. So mainly we just play Mario Kart, Smash Bros, and we did play New Super Mario Bros. Wii and occasionally 3D World. I did not know that Geico made an Angry Birds ad. Bird is the word. Since when can you play as Pac-Man? Since October 2005. Yes, this game came out before Mario Kart DS, and although this is Arcade Grand Prix 2, the first one is essentially the same thing, but there's less content. Also, Dirty Ace, that's a nickname I should give Mario Tennis Aces. Jay plays, I have no doubt in my mind that you would be a rage quitter. Mario Party DS was the one that I played a lot of, so that's the one I have the most memories with. That was a great game. I love Mario Party DS. In fact, I can't think of a single Mario game on the DS, or frankly any Nintendo game, that I didn't like. The DS and Wii era was by far the best era of Nintendo. Hands down. Alright, if this game is older than you, I'm feeling very old right now, because this game would have came out when I was 5. And back then, I didn't even play video games. Okay, Mario Party 10 basically looks like the most generic, simplified Mario Party of them all, plus the minigames in 9 seem way more fun. Okay. That's interesting to hear. So which Mario Kart installment is this then? I thought it might have been Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is a really good looking game, so I see why. In fact, I'm pretty sure Nintendo got Bandai Namco to help with Mario Kart 8. Simply because, and I know Mario Kart Wii fans might go after me for saying this, but I'm a big fan of the game and I'll just admit it. Mario Kart Wii is not a good looking game. The textures are really bad, the models are very low poly, even Funky Kong doesn't look good. But this game is running on the same hardware as Double Dash. It's a modified engine of the GameCube called the Triforce. Nintendo, Sega, and Namco teamed up in the early 2000s to create an arcade board, and you got a lot of cool games out of that. You got Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 1 and 2, and even F-Zero AX, which is an extension of GX, and I played the deluxe machine, and that was a great time. But unlike F-Zero AX, where GX is essentially the same, this is very different from Double Dash, or really any Mario Kart. But, you know, it's never been re-released, so the way I'm playing this is on Nintendo, on a modified Wii. It'd be super cool if they re-released the first 2 games, DX and maybe VR, although that one I don't have attachment to because I've actually never played it. That's why I got Steady 94 for the Arcade Grand Prix VR episode. But the first 2 games are great. That's what I'm playing right now. Essentially, they're exactly the same as each other, but really, the titles should have been swapped. Arcade GP DX should have been called Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 2, and this one should have been called Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe, because it's essentially the same, but with a few new cups, new characters, new items, and different carts for the characters. You just saw that we unlocked the Demeech cart, and Demeech is actually a character in this game. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. If you were told one of these 2 things, not knowing about any of the games, which one would you think would come true first? Waluigi being a playable fighter in Super Smash Bros., or Wario being able to fart on a Tamagotchi? Only one of those has happened. I'm doing a solo stream today because I want to do a Q&A. So, I've been answering questions, and I feel like it's easier this time just to play some Mario Kart as well as answer the questions, because I haven't really done a Q&A in a while, but next stream possibly. I'm not sure when I'll do it, but Mario Party has been heavily requested, so I'll definitely consider doing that. And it has pretty good online, too. But yeah, this game is a lot of fun. It's actually very easy to modify Wii, and it's not like they're gonna have warranties anymore. So you don't have to worry about them being out of warranty. Nintendo wouldn't repair them anyway, but you probably won't ever need to repair the Wii, because Nintendo consoles used to have an element called Nintendium. A Game Boy survived the Gulf War, meanwhile, the Switch can't survive a speck of dust. For a second I thought you said Fat Italian Plumber, but I'm not even sure if Wario is Italian. Mario's just Tubby. It's different than Fat, because Tubby is a little bit overweight. Nobody calls me Tubby! Anton Retro, good to see you. I was messaging you about the R4 card, and I'm wondering, with the time thing on it, do you have to go into 3DS settings and change the time? Or is there a way to do it via software? Because it looks interesting. I want to get the R4 card. Also, I'd be using it on my standard new 3DS, and I love that system, so I don't want to risk it. But I'm definitely interested in getting one, so I'd love to hear your experience with the R4 card. Not because I want to play a bunch of DS games that were on the DS. I want to play newer Super Mario Bros. DS. That's what I really want to play on it. So, if you look here, you actually have many different special items. Here's the Puka from Dig Dug. You also have the Rally X, and even a Galaga. So these are Pac-Man special items, so we're just gonna go with those. Usually I use a star, but I think that these are way more interesting. I knew you'd quote Patrick. What is there to quote? This is Patrick. That thing's green! Green is a funny word. Does Denny's Applebee's Max exist in the future? I don't know. Applebee's exists in the present, and it's Applebee's. I really have nothing to say about Applebee's. It's kind of one of those restaurants you go to where you don't have any other restaurant to go to, and then just forget about it the next day. They have trivia at the one near me, and my uncle goes there, Demeech, and he's really good at it. So good that he almost wins every time. And you get a gift card for Applebee's. Just like Reese got the gift card that he could have used for Applebee's but got the expansion pack. Hey Reese, at Applebee's, the food won't lag. You're getting a full experience. So this is the Puka from Dig Dug. And if you've ever played Dig Dug, you know exactly what this enemy does. And he inflates himself just like a balloon. That is a Donkey Kong 64 reference. Fitting since we're in the Donkey Kong Cup. As for Rally X, this was one of the first racing games out there, and it's an interesting one. It's a top-down thing. Back then, racing games were either in some weird... What's the mode called? It's not Mode 7, but it was 2D but simulated to look like 3D. That was Pole Position and Rad Racer, an F1 race on the NES or Famicom, because it never got released here for some reason. They released Donkey Kong Jr. Math, but not F1 Race. I will never understand that, but those games are definitely not some of the best aging games. I would say Super Mario Kart hasn't aged well, so imagine playing something like that on the NES. Wow, Jay Plays, you actually have an opinion that most people can agree with. Music in this game is very interesting too. It's distinct compared to what you'd hear in other Mario Kart games. I can't be the only one, but does Double Dash's soundtrack remind anyone of Jimmy Neutron? I'm guessing it's because it's an early 2000s CGI thing. I still stand by Jimmy Neutron being one of the best Nicktoons out there. It was one of the Triforce parts of my favorite cartoons. Those were SpongeBob, the Fairly Odd Parents, and Jimmy Neutron. And out of all those shows, Jimmy Neutron is the only one that never got bad. Jimmy Neutron sadly just got cancelled before its time, because an ending was planned, but I've seen the script for Season 4, and it just did not sound that good. I'm just not a fan of when they do story arcs in most shows, especially like in South Park, because they resort to the same plots and jokes too much. Okay, so you have to get first place here. So we're probably going to play as another character, so who do you want me to play as in this game? So I'm going to read some comments while we watch the awards ceremony. Except I won't be getting Mario Kart 8 after this ceremony. I'm you in the future? Shuckle, can you evolve yet? You could probably find the name of the announcer in Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing. With Justin Berti in this game, he'll say, "This broadcast is brought to you by Justin Berti." So that's how I found out about him. And it was cool getting him for the interview, and I still keep in contact with him. If I ever meet him, I'll give him a Wii that's modified, that plays this game, so he could show his nieces the Mario Kart game that he was in. He's a great guy, he was fun to have. There's a reason why he's in every intro. I played Rally X on the Jack Specific Plug and Play. Yeah, that's the first place I played it too. When I played Pole Position on the Plug and Play, I had no idea that you twist the joystick to rotate the kart. I didn't know that until years later, so I always thought the game was broken. Okay, cool. I'm very interested in checking it out, Anton, so thank you. Alright, let's see what Jay Plays said. You said I'm currently eating cookies on my bed. I'm not sure if you're trying to get me to quote Family Guy, but I'm thinking about it. That's where my mind went right away. In the future, Waluigi is in Smash and Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix is on the Switch, and Reese isn't obsessed with Paper Mario anymore. If we can just get that last one, my life would be a lot better. I'm sure you're referencing the South Park special. Okay, I'm getting a lot of different ones. So what I'm gonna do is, I won't play as Peach because of Super Mario Odyssey, but I'm gonna flip a coin between Wario and Donkey Kong. So, I think heads will be Wario, tails will be Donkey Kong. It only makes sense because Donkey Kong is not a human, but Wario is. So let's see. Oh wow. Speaking of coins, I actually got the Wonder Ball Wario and Donkey Kong coins. But I'm gonna use a dime and see what character I'm gonna play as. Alright, Wario it is. Oh, Alpha Dream is back in the future? That'd be nice. Oh, it was your inspiration. Yeah, it just tells you that these characters are more advanced, but what that just means is that their acceleration, the amount for them to get up to full speed takes longer, but it doesn't matter because in some courses, it's easier. Mykonos Sunset, hello! That's Megameech in the chat. So, everybody say hello to Megameech, and also give your greatest sympathies for his experience playing Atari 2600 Pac-Man. I understood his pain. So with Wario, we're gonna choose his special item, which is a boxing glove. And you can also use a banana gun. It's different than the one in Mario Kart Tour with the mushroom cannon and the ones that Diddy Kong and Funky Kong have. The barrels that shoot out the bananas, because this game actually gives the characters a gun, which is interesting. Megameech fans are excited to see you. So yeah, with Wario, I just started playing this game again, so I had to just use another save file, because in the other one, I unlocked everything. So if you want to see Wario fart on Momechi, you're gonna have to wait for that. But I don't think anyone would want to see that. But it's canon. Can you guys list some of the weirdest moments in Mario games? Because I'm thinking of making a drawing called Rated E for Everyone, including some of the weirdest moments in Mario games. Like in Super Mario Odyssey, how Mario can wear Peach's wedding dress. That caught me off guard. And Wario farting on Miss Pac-Man or Momechi was very bizarre too. I couldn't believe that. Like in Smash Bros, it's different, because that's a fighting game, but this is Mario Kart. This man literally had to stand up in his cart and put himself and others in danger to pull off that special move. But if you can think of any more weird moments in Mario games like that, please let me know. Fun fact about Donkey Kong 64, instead of the fruit cannons that they were using, they were actually going to be the same type of weapons from GoldenEye. So, I saw the beta footage and it definitely was interesting. Definitely out of place though, and also, that's not the Ultra Hand. But it's funny that Wario has that. So there are two banana cannons. There's the one with just the regular and the toxic bananas. I'm pretty sure that the toxic bananas should have just been green ones before they're ripe. But, you know, at the same time, the purple does fit Wario quite well. Also, you might notice this item from Mario Kart Wii. This is the only time the arcade games have been referenced in a mainline game, but the item works completely different. So, in Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 1 and 2, and Deluxe, the Thunder Cloud goes over a player and slows them down. If it hits a player, they'll just lose speed. But in Mario Kart Wii, I really like the item because what you do is you have the item and it actually can affect you. It's a risk versus reward thing. So you can either decide to keep it because you'll have increased speed, but then when the time runs out, you will be shrunk and be slower. It's a very cool item that adds a lot of strategy. Mario Kart Wii had some terrible item balancing and I didn't like some of the items like the POW block. But it's a very cool game when it comes to the items, and this one of course is even cooler because you have hundreds of them. Driving a shoe in Mario Kart? You know, in Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe, you can drive a hamburger. You don't need a license to drive a sandwich. Let me guess, J-Plays, it was Chips Ahoy, wasn't it? Okay, you guys, I'm just trying to guess. Do you think Reese would just probably go into shock if he didn't mention Paper Mario at all? NP Royalty, good to see you. Everything's good? I remember how I made you a moderator. You were the one who said Pink Gold Peach is terrible, and that's all it took. Thankfully, this game doesn't have Pink Gold Peach, but every character can turn into metal. So we're gonna play as Wario again. He's a great character. It's always Chips Ahoy. No, it was a cookie with chocolate on one side and nothing on the other side. Hey, at least one side is always good. There's a bright side to every story. So we got a few items we can use. Let's use the most generic items in Mario Kart for this one. The Boo works differently, so I'm not going to use that. We'll use the bananas. Oh, it's a banana train. So, let's see. I think it works a little bit differently. We just got a standard banana. I mean, this is kind of the Mega Mushroom. It was in 2 games, so I guess we'll use that. It looks different, though. Lemon Limez Jr., thank you! That was a very kind donation. The terrible item balancing made it great. Also, Merry Christmas. Well, Merry Christmas to you, too. Yeah, the item balance in Mario Kart Wii was just crazy, to say the least. The Chad Metal Mario versus the Virgin Pink Gold Peach? I would say both characters would not be Chad. The Chad character would be Mamechi. Or, I think, Rob. There were so many weird characters in Mario Kart after Double Dash. Like, it was weird seeing Petey Piranha, because you can't have King Boo without Petey Piranha. It's like having peanut butter without jelly. No, that was a joke, but in all seriousness, it's very interesting, considering the characters that were in Mario Kart after DS. You got Rob the Robot, who wasn't playable before in any game. He's not even a video game character, he's an accessory. And if you play the Japanese version, not only will he have the Famicom colors, but his name is different too. I don't know about you, but when I think of my favorite Mario Kart character, my favorite is HVC 0012 or something like that. They put the model number for him instead of the actual name. It seems that you're stuck with the banana, and these are gigantic bananas too. So it's kind of like the ones in Double Dash, but at the same time, it's not the ones in Double Dash. Yeah, I remember in Mario Kart Wii getting hit with 5 blue shells in a race. The item balancing is way better in other Mario Kart games. In fact, I would say pretty much all of them, except for Mario Kart Wii, have pretty good item balancing. Even Tour with the Frenzies has better item balancing. But it is what makes it fun. There's a reason why people love to play Mario Kart Wii. I'm guessing it's because the game kind of has the extreme sports thing going on for it, with the tricks, the motorcycles, and of course it has Funky Kong, so how could you not love the game? Other than Tour, I think Mario Kart Wii has the best roster, mainly because you can unlock every character without having to give your arm and a leg to Nintendo. Yeah, blue shells have become quite a rarity in Mario Kart games. Not obtaining them, but also getting hit by a blue shell. Also, that is not Metal Luigi, that is Metal Luigi using a power-up. It's not the same thing. Look, if that was the case, where every character could turn into metal, and it was just a power-up like that, I would have no problem with it. Oh my gosh, is that Metal Waluigi? Don't get any ideas, Nintendo. But yeah, looks like we're gonna win the race with just standard items. If you ever get Wii'Fi on Mario Kart Wii, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a stream like that soon. I'm gonna try Mario Kart Tour very soon. Yeah, if you play Mario Kart Tour, it's free to play, so you're not paying to try it out, but I wouldn't recommend ever getting rubies simply because you don't know what you're gonna get. So what I recommend doing is if you play Mario Kart Tour, save up your rubies you collect in every tour and use them for a character that you want to get. Like if I see a pipe with Donkey Kong Jr. and if it's a 50, I'll definitely use rubies for that because that's the character I want the most now. Discord server I'm still thinking of. I will never go back on Twitter, but it is a good way to communicate with the fans on Discord, because a lot of you seem to really want the Discord server. I really don't use Discord that much. I just need to understand a little bit more of the platform, because I'm not making the same mistake I did on Twitter, where at first the platform was kind of decent. It was never great, but it's just the circus now, and if I want the circus, I'll just watch The Greatest Show on Earth. Or just play 3D World, because it has a lot of circus levels. But yeah, Twitter is not a good place. I highly recommend flipping the bird and getting off that app, because there's nothing positive about it, except when you delete it. Jay plays, what's more tempting, Chef Mario or Kamek? Mario Kart 7 had a lot of really cool characters. It had Wiggler, Honey Queen, Lakitu was actually playable, and Shy Guy got the courage to get out of download play. Yeah, I really hope Mario Kart 9 is good. My biggest fear of the game is if it turns out to be a fix-it-later thing like Mario Tennis Aces and Mario Golf Super Rush, but that's Camelot. Mario Kart has had consistently good developers. We got the fart gas item! We got it! You guys saw it live. We unlocked... Not just that, we also unlocked the Pac-Man cart. Isn't that beautiful? You can ban people on Discord and you can add mods like me to do that for you? You're assuming I wouldn't ban you right away, Jay Plays. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kind of old-fashioned when it comes to social media, because I really don't use it. Because it's just like, I really don't see the point. That's just my personal opinion. It's just like, I think videos get points across better, like I'm mainly talking about the channel. On Twitter, if I say something, it's limited to a few characters, but here I can make a long video if I need to. Like, there was no way that I could have gotten the rise and fall of Pac-Man summarized in a tweet. You are a mod on the channel. I think you earned that because you're brave enough to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe while everyone else is getting very bored with the game. I'm assuming you don't have a Wii U. That could be part of it. Also, speaking of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, next year Mario Kart 8 Deluxe won't be so new anymore. Half a decade old. I'm also wondering how long the Switch will last for, because it still seems kind of like a new console, but it's really not. 5 to 6 years is usually how long a console lasts, because I'm thinking about Nintendo's history. 85-91, we got the Super Nintendo, 6 years. 91 to 96, we got the Nintendo 64, so about 5 years. But that was delayed constantly. Then 1996, 2001 GameCube, that lasted quite a while too. And we got the GameCube, then the Wii, a little over 4 years. But the GameCube didn't sell well, despite it having some amazing games. It only sold about 21 million units, but the reason why I have nostalgia for the GameCube and played a lot of the games on it, most of them, is because the Wii is backwards compatible. That's what I loved about Nintendo consoles back then. All of them were backwards compatible. Even the DS, which was a new platform, was originally compatible with Game Boy Advance games. That was excellent because you could play all kinds of games, even if you didn't own the system in the heyday. Not only that, games were cheap for the GameCube and Game Boy Advance many moons ago. Game Boy Advance is still relatively reasonable, GameCube, forget about it. I think the real reason why Nintendo doesn't put GameCube games on the Switch is they don't want the cracks to show and fans to realize that they made better games during the GameCube era. Like, if you play Mario Power Tennis compared to Aces, you will automatically have a better experience just by starting up the game, because it has a wonderful opening cutscene, and when Waluigi says he whacks funny, it actually makes sense. But speaking of Mario Kart, this is Diamond City from WarioWare. This is the only time I remember WarioWare actually being referenced in a Mario spin-off. This is the only time it's referenced in Mario Kart, and this is why I'd be perfectly okay if Bandai Namco just took over the Mario Kart series. In fact, I would say Bandai Namco is the developer I trust the most, because when I found out they were the ones working on new Pokemon Snap, I immediately knew, okay, this is going to be a very high quality. And wouldn't you know it, it was. Yeah, a lot of plots are recycled, and even though Camp Coral is a spin-off, it's just Spongebob but younger. We got the fart yes item. We can only use it in the 4th cup. What's the best Mario Kart gimmick? By gimmick, do you mean mechanic or something like... By gimmick, do you mean something like the gliders and underwater sections and the anti-gravity, or would you also include the double carts from Double Dash? If we're talking mainline, I would say the double carts and the special items by far. But if we're talking about the arcade games, the tank mode from Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe is great. That is a really cool co-op mode. Soshi, you just talked about Camp Coral twice. It hasn't overstayed its welcome yet. Luigi! You didn't have a Wii U? Who in the chat had a Wii U? I had a Wii U. I still have a Wii U. I'll have a Wii U until it's game over. I love the Wii U. Yeah, pretty much. That's what Camp Coral really is. Yeah, I got my Wii U in 2013. It was for my 14th birthday. Funny story about the Wii U. I was actually going to get it in 2012. But I was misbehaving or something. My dad had the Wii U ready to go, but had to return it because I wasn't behaving. And I had to wait a year before I actually got the Wii U. And this wasn't the basic edition either. This was the Grand Deluxe Edition, It's funny that my mom essentially was very strict with me, but my sister not so much. Maybe that's why I'm cynical. Also, you can see a lot of cool references in this track. They even have a 7-Eleven in the Mario canon. 7-Eleven is actually very popular in Japan and Thailand. So I'll show you where the 7-Eleven is. It's right there. It's called Star Mart. You gotta admit though, this game looks beautiful even though it's quite old. If you have a good art direction, games can look great. Games like this, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario Sunshine, really, most of the games Nintendo's put out look great. The only ones I can think of that don't are games that just haven't aged well, like Nintendo 64 games, but I can't blame it too much because of the hardware. And a few games every once in a while, like Star Fox Zero, Pokemon Sword and Shield, those games didn't look too good. I think it's funny that Luigi's Mansion 3 went from one of the least impressive looking games on the Switch in its reveal to the most impressive. That is what you call a glow up. Luigi's Mansion 3 is great. I love how in that game, it not only looks amazing, but they incorporated elements from Dark Moon and the first game, while also introducing a lot of new mechanics. When Switch games are good, they're sometimes the best in the series, but a lot of the times there are a few duds, and by few I mean too many of them. Pokemon Sword and Shield is definitely one of them, and I have a lot to say about that. Even though I like the Origami King, my opinion for Sword is essentially what I feared from the beginning and more. Thankfully, I only got it for 33 bucks and it was a used copy, but still, it felt expensive for what it is. Honestly speaking, that is my least favorite Pokemon game. I even think the Game Boy games are better because you actually have to think to beat the game. It's not like Sword and Shield where it tells you exactly what to do. It's essentially now a glorified game as Simon Says, except you don't need to remember anything. It just tells you right up what moves are super effective. Really, I don't understand why there's no challenge. What's the point of a game if there's no challenge? I love Dark Moon, and I think Luigi's Mansion 3 was just an extension of that, so that's why I really love the game. Yeah, Mario Kart 9 needs to have alternate costumes. We've seen them in Mario games since Super Mario Odyssey, and that is something I definitely want to continue. As a certified Galaxy enthusiast, Galaxy looks absolutely amazing to this day, even on the Wii. It looks even better on the Switch, so I'm hoping at some point we get Galaxy 2. I just hope it's not a $60 thing, and they call it Super Mario Galaxy 2 HD. Good point. I forgot that they told you they were super effective in Sun and Moon. However, you could turn off the experience share, so maybe that's why it wasn't too big of an issue. Because at that time, I did kind of learn the typing and what it does. So we're gonna play as Demeech next. Demeech, I hope I'm saying that right. That's how Justin said it, so that's how I'm saying it. I don't know, when I'm playing Pokemon Sword, I just feel like the game is thoughtless. You just don't need to do anything to beat the game. It'd be nice if you could turn off the experience share, because my team is always over-leveled. Right now, I can't really go on OBS, but next time I definitely will shrink the banner down. Also, the Kart from Mario Land 2 is here. Yeah, Galaxy 2 is great. Mario Odyssey's challenge is different because, in that way, the challenge isn't so much the platforming, it's getting all the moons. I think when people go into Super Mario Odyssey with the mentality it'll be just like 64, with set missions, that's the problem, because it's a different type of game. It's more of an evolution of Mario 64 than a sequel to it. Which is what I love about it, because you don't get kicked out of the level when you collect a moon. It's more like Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm perfectly okay with that, since I prefer Banjo-Kazooie and even Donkey Kong 64 over Super Mario 64. I gotta be honest, I find Super Mario 64 quite overrated, but the DS one is overhated. That game is better, despite it having the controls that are considered worse. But Mario 64 didn't have amazing controls to begin with. But I see how people prefer the movement in that game. And in Mario 64 DS, what you had to do is use different characters, and they had different power-ups. So sometimes you just had to figure out, okay, I need to use Wario for this one, or I need to use Luigi. It was interesting. It's not like the characters in 3D World, where sometimes you need to choose a certain character to get a stamp, which is pretty rare in that game. But mostly you can play as any character you want, and just get through the level the same way. I do like the selection of characters, though, in Mario 64 DS, because you have Wario in Mario 64. That is really cool. I don't know why Nintendo doesn't do more with Wario in the mainline games, considering he's one of the most popular characters. He was only in Mario Land 2, and he does have the spin-off games. Thankfully, WarioWare is still going on, but we haven't had a new Wario Land in a very long time. Quite a shame, too, because the Wario Land games are better than any of the 2D Mario games. Maybe except for the first one, where it's just kind of a slower version of Super Mario Land. Where the series got really good is, ironically, on the Virtual Boy. That's another game they got a re-release, or if they don't want to mention the Virtual Boy, just call it Wario Land Return to the Awazon. That's what it's actually called. Co-op with Waluigi, too. Or Wario, if they want to do something different. Yeah, Sword was easy for me. I don't know how you almost had the entire team destroyed. Opal was the most challenging gym leader, but even then it was just a matter of using the potions and stuff like that. I need to think about what I'm gonna exactly do with the Disney Quest video, because there's a lot to say, but I'll just state this after I answer some more questions. Super Mario Land 2 is indeed underrated. Imagine if they made Wario Kart. They'll probably make Toad Kart first. They love Toad. Mario Kart Arcade, the best one. Am I right or am I right? The casual fan enjoys Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The Chad enjoys Mario Kart 8 when it was on the Wii U. The Giga Chad enjoys Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix. Any of them. On set... Wait, there's a set difficulty? Is there like a challenging mode? Yeah, because when I was playing X and Y, I had the experience share on, because I experienced the game when it was brand new, and I realized that my team just breezed through the game, so I turned it off in Sun and Moon. We also got the paintbrush from Mario Sunshine. So Disney Quest. What is Disney Quest, in case any of you guys don't know? What Disney Quest was really a one-of-a-kind thing, where it was an indoor theme park. The theming was based on virtual reality, and there were a lot of cool attractions there based on that. You had Cyberspace Mountain, where you could build your own roller coaster, and Bill Nye was the host of it. You had Aladdin's Magic Carpet, which was a VR thing. That was pretty cool, too. Cyberspace Mountain was easily the best. You had the Buzz Lightyear thing. Buzz Lightyear's Blast, something like that, where it's like bumper carts, but you actually hit the players, and they spin out. So it is very similar to Mario Kart. It's way cooler than the Koopa's Challenge thing, because you're actually driving, and you can see the car spin out. And not only that, Disney Quest was a retro gamer's paradise. They had almost every arcade game you could imagine, and that's what I used to determine if an arcade game was successful enough. They didn't have a Donkey Kong 3, but they had Super Pac-Man, so I know the game was successful enough to land up there. They also had quite a few Donkey Kong Jr., and Mario Brothers cabinets. You'll still see those at some of the Disney Resort arcades, so I'm glad they have that, and you'll always see the Miss Pac-Man Galaga Class of '81. But the first time I went to Disney Quest was 10 years ago, in 2011. It was when I was starting middle school, and under the condition that I got honor roll, I'd be able to go. And I did. I pretty much got honor roll, and if I'm motivated, I can do something. When I don't have the motivation, it just becomes very hard for me to care or do stuff. College is where I turned my grades around completely and got mostly honor roll, and even straight A's sometimes. So that was very nice. But Disney Quest was great. But as great as Disney Quest was, Disney decided, instead of, maybe updating it, considering that a lot of the attractions were still using hardware from the late 90s, early 2000s, they decided to tear it down and replace it with the NBA experience. And I saw this coming from a mile away. I knew the NBA experience wouldn't last, and it's not because of the reason you're thinking of, the one that Disney uses as an excuse. The NBA experience is such a niche attraction with such a specific audience that it really only could appeal to basketball fans. And it was pretty much just a glorified gift shop, while Disney Quest, it appealed to everyone. They really just had to update everything, and maybe lower the prices a little bit. Oh, okay. Oh, Riley is here. Everyone say hi to Riley. I think, when I mentioned Bill Nye, did that summon you here? I'm pretty sure it did. I don't even think Koopa's Challenge is a game, but Arcade Grand Prix VR definitely is. From what I've heard, though, it's an experience more than anything. It's not something like this where it's still fun to play, even if you're not in an arcade. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of requests to play Five Nights at Freddy's, so I need to check that out. There are a lot of series which people claim are cringy and bad because they're popular, but I don't know, it just is like, if a game is fun, I'll play it regardless of what people say. I liked Fortnite, I played that game. We got everyone saying Bill Nye to you, Riley. Before you go on your vacation, you'll get to hear about Bill Nye the Science Guy. So this is the carrot from Mario Land 2, and going with the Mario Land theme, we'll also include the Koopa shell, because if you remember in that game, the Koopas didn't ricochet when you hit the shell. Because of the limitations, the Koopas were actually hybrids of a Koopa and a Bob-omb. But in Land 2, they just went with the regular Koopas. I think they were red Koopas canonically, even though you couldn't tell. Everybody is mentioning Bill Nye. So it just seems that everyone forgot about Disney Quest, and it's all about Bill Nye. That's what I'll always remember Disney Quest for. Also, the first time I went, they had Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix, apparently, and I didn't even notice it. And then in 2013, they got rid of it. What a shame. A lot of Disney arcades had the game, but they just removed it. I don't know why. Maybe they were upset about what happened with Wreck-It Ralph, but also the only thing that Disney Quest updated was after Wreck-It Ralph, they had a surplus of the Fix-A-Felix Jr. machines, and all those went to Disney Quest. And you could actually play the game from Wreck-It Ralph at Disney Quest, and they had a statue of him too. It was very cool. Also, when it comes to Wreck-It Ralph, the first movie was great, the second is one of the most disappointing sequels I've ever seen. How can you go from something that's essentially the first great video game movie to, look at everything we own, we're Disney! It's the internet, memes! Like, the plot for sequel was so obvious. consoles taking over arcades. That would be what I would consider to be a good plot for the sequel and most people, but Disney just decided to do, oh wow, the internet is a great plot for this movie. A lot of the Disney movies released in the late 2010s were not that good either. I'm still talking about Pixar too. I think that Toy Story 3 ended the series on a perfect note, and Toy Story 4 was just completely unnecessary. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. If something sells well, you make sequels to No Tomorrow. That's why you're getting all the Spongebob spin-offs. I can't wait for Bubble Bass's comic series where he's talking about, or it'll be a parody of Pawn Stars. And what Bubble Bass will do is he'll have a pawn shop or a consignment shop or something like that where customers come in and he analyzes the things they bring in and he'll tell them, this isn't worth that much. I remember the first comic I read, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, Triple Bossy Deluxe. This isn't the original comic, it's a counterfeit. I can only pay $2 for it. So he'd essentially scam the people into getting the comic for a good price. I'm playing this on a Wii that's modified using Nintendo. This game runs on modified Disney hardware. Disney hardware, modified GameCube hardware, which is also what the Wii is, so this is being played natively. Wreck-It Ralph could have had a sequel with the console games being the plot and how they're taking over arcades, but if Wreck-It Ralph 2 never happened and it was just Wreck-It Ralph, considering what the sequel ended up being, I'd be fine with that. There were so many Ice Age movies, I lost track. I think the last one was in 2016. So we got special items from Amechi, and I gotta be honest, I'm kinda glad I lost this race. Because you will get to see Wario's special item. Paramount Plus recently introduced channels that have shows streaming 24/7. Isn't cable 24/7? Interesting. I heard something about SpongeBob's Midlife Crustacean episode being on the SpongeBob channel. That's what I don't like about streaming services, because if you own the DVDs, you have those episodes forever. Unless the DVD breaks, of course. But all the episodes are there. The first 100 episodes not only has all the first 100 episodes, but also includes deleted scenes, like in the episode Shanghai. There are quite a few deleted scenes. Originally, the special was something along the lines of a contest where fans could call in and see which ending they wanted to have, and they showed alternate endings for Squidward and Patrick, but SpongeBob was the one who won, and that's the one used in future airings. First 100 episodes, yes, best DVD collection ever. They're still selling it. I've seen it at Walmart, and it's $24. That is one of the best uses of $24 you can use. I do not have the next 100 episodes, though. But with Midlife Crustacean, yeah, there were some edgy things about it, but it wasn't something so out there crazy. That was a problem I had with Paramount Plus, because they just deleted the scene saying it wasn't family friendly. Yet again, they literally made an iCarly reboot with swearing in it. And even if you think about the original iCarly, that was quite edgy too. The first episode had a very bizarre plot. There were a lot of jokes in it that were off the wall. So with iCarly specifically, I guess that gets a pass from Paramount Plus, but with SpongeBob, Midlife Crustacean was too much. That's a problem, because things can happen on streaming services that get rid of media and don't preserve them, just because time's changing. And, you know, the best thing they could do is just have a disclaimer like Disney does for some of their older films, like the World War II era films. They talk about the history of them. That way viewers can learn from them instead of not knowing about their existence at all. Because if you know anything about cartoons in the 1940s or the early 40s, these cartoons were paid for by different governments. The ones I've seen are from the US government. Warner Brothers and Disney were paid to create cartoons that were essentially World War II propaganda. And they're definitely dated now. Their purpose was, you know, just to illustrate what is going on in overly cartoony manners. But I just don't see the point of removing something like Midlife Crustacean. Like, those I could kind of understand. I don't agree with it, but sure, it has that subplot, but it's not an episode that's too out there. I would say the most out there episode of SpongeBob would probably be That's No Lady, where Patrick worries about being kicked out of town, and Squidward and Patrick just hit on him in the entire episode when he disguises himself as Patricia. It's hilarious, but completely out there for SpongeBob. And just seeing the things that Mr. Krabs and Squidward go through. SpongeBob isn't a show that has many plots like that to begin with. The only episode I can think of is... What is the one? Krusty Love? No, I'm trying to think. Is that Krusty Love? The one where Mr. Krabs falls in love with Mrs. Puff and actually spends money, because that's the only thing that can overpower his love of money. It's interesting to know Mr. Krabs does have that weakness, though. Squidward and Mr. Krabs, you mean? Yeah. Krusty Love, I got it. Oswald the Rabbit was before Disney. Yeah, Spencer would be the one to swear, but good to see you, Jordan. I had no idea that you appeared, but mentioning iCarly got you here. So we cleared the Wario Cup. Also, speaking of swearing in cartoons, does anyone kind of find the mild swears in Sponge Out of Water completely out of place? They're not bad words, they're stuff like crappy, freaking, but still, it just feels so out of place for SpongeBob. With regular show, I remember how edgy it was, because in the first episodes they'd always say crap and you piss me off. They censored that apparently, but... You know, I remembered watching regular show, and I said that pissed off wasn't a bad word in 5th grade, because regular show said it, so maybe that's why. Cartoon Network in the 2010s, early 2010s, was great. Even though there were really weird shows like The Problem Solvers, it still was great. Because they tried new things, they didn't rely on just one show. I'm one of the few people on this earth who likes The Problem Solvers. I thought it was a cool show. Yeah, some people just hate the art direction, but a lot of the plots were cool, like in the second episode where the character Horace plays video games and gets transported into one of the games. Yeah, there were some moments in the show which weren't too funny, mainly with Alfie, but I need to make a video called How I Like the Most Hated Cartoon. Also, we got a Snot Bomb. This game has edge that no other Mario Kart game can have. I'm not sure if they'll bring back Oswald. They really haven't done much with him outside of Epic Mickey. Yeah, I do have to make an episode or video about the Problem Solvers sometime. So we are gonna go to Pac-Land. You're gonna see some locations from Pac-Man World 2. And the original Pac-Man. It's like Tim developed a Mario Kart game. And I'm not talking about the third Orange Ghost. I'm talking about the Tim. How would you feel if someone stuck their finger up their nose, picked out a golden booger, and threw it at your face? It's not funny. Yeah, I'm using widescreen now. It looks really good. Oh, Sponge on the Run was the first SpongeBob movie you watched? I think this describes my thoughts on it the best. It feels like a bootleg, weird parody of SpongeBob. Does anyone else feel that way? Because I'll give my thoughts on the SpongeBob movies. First one, great. It was excellent. It had memorable moments. I can recite a lot of it. T&D and I love the movie. And apparently he knows the entire movie and remembered the entire script. I'm not sure if that's true, but I'll definitely hold him accountable to that. And if he can, I will do a stream of Sonic R for 24 hours. The second movie was different because it had the CGI elements, but it still kept true to what made SpongeBob great. And it felt like a SpongeBob movie. I really love Sponge Out of Water too. But then Sponge on the Run came out, and that movie went in kind of development hell. where originally it was going to have a plot based on It's a Wonderful Life. There was also a scrap plot of alien cats, but the one they went with is essentially a watered-down hybrid of Have You Seen the Snail in the first movie. Now, there are scenes in that movie that just drag on so long. I just hit the person with the other item, and we actually got the virus from Dr. Mario yet again. It makes your view dizzy, but I think this is kind of cool. Although if I look at it too much, I'm probably going to barf. This was one of the first items I used in Mario Kart Arcade. The first one I actually played was Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe. I was on a hunt for Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix for the longest time, because no arcades near me had it. I played F-Zero AX before I ever played Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix. Think about that. Oh, the Camp Coral thing in the third movie is horrible. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It was not only a weird sort of bootleg Spongebob movie, but also just to tie into the stupid spin-off. There was no point about it. It was just random flashbacks. You know what else has random flashbacks? Family Guy. But at least you expect it there. Even when they drag on super long, like the music videos, it's still funny. Family Guy is a show that I'm well aware is trash, but it's something so bad sometimes you just can't help but laugh at it. But with SpongeBob, you don't expect that. And I feel like this series has gone through different eras after every movie. Imagine if GBA NSO is OLED exclusive. I wouldn't assume it would be OLED exclusive, unless they make a Switch without a backlight. Yeah, and how much do I like Truth or Square? Birthday Blowout just felt like an apology for Truth or Square, and I loved it. Total Drama Island was great. I don't like the new one, though. I didn't understand how much SpongeBob knew how to drive in the movie, but then I found out SpongeBob movie takes place at the end of the series, so it explains so much. Yeah, that will always be the true ending to SpongeBob. The Radical Soda thing was funny, despite that episode not being too great. Some people didn't like it, some people did. I thought it was hilarious. Like an old guy in a soda commercial. Oh boy, I gotta get the new Switch with the NSO for the SE Game Boy games. I haven't watched really many new episodes, but essentially the era SpongeBob went through, pre-movie, gold. After the first movie, Seasons 4 and 5 were great, Seasons 6 and 7 were not great at all. In fact, they were quite bad. Season 8 and Season 9 were pretty good. Then after the second movie, the series got better but in a different way, where it was more focused on visual gags. And then after this third movie, it seems like they're going the spin-offs route. So we get new items to use. We got the dizziness virus from Dr. Mario. We got the tax. Huh, this is a tacky Mario Kart game. What does Soshi dislike? I think it was something about Truth or Square. Where's Donkey Kong Jr.? Oh, Donkey Kong the Second? I think Donkey Kong Jr. No, he's not here. That's Double Dash. He's in the audience in Waluigi Stadium, but the Waluigi Cup here is completely different. It has robotic dinosaurs. Oh yeah, I remember all the movies from The Fairly Odd Parents. I can't believe that that show is getting a reboot, considering that the series just dragged on for years. Unlike SpongeBob, that never got better. If they just stuck with Poof, I don't think it would be too bad. But it seemed like they were introducing too many new characters. They had Poof, Foop, Sparky, Anti-Sparky, Chloe, and eventually the series got so bad they just decided to cut the budget and use Flash animation. Also, I love how this game references Pac-Man World. Very cool. Atlantis Square Pantis is one of the few episodes that gets a lot of flack, but looking back on it, it definitely isn't one of the worst episodes. It's a musical and a weird kind of parody of Willy Wonka, but it's not that bad. It's decent. The video game came out of it was great. The one on the DS is the one I played. It's a 3D platformer and it plays really well. Surprisingly, the licensed SpongeBob games were excellent. A lot of the licensed games were excellent. As long as most of them weren't based on a specific movie and released at a certain time, if they were based on a TV show or something, usually they're quite good. You could also watch Spongebob episodes on the Game Boy Advance, and I got a funny story about that. I was gonna do a video in May where I watched Jimmy Neutron and do the Carl Weezer voice, but somehow Viacom's copyright detection system actually found that Jimmy Neutron was playing on the Game Boy Advance, and this was using an original DS too, which doesn't have a good screen. So, think about it. They were able to copyright Jimmy Neutron playing on a DS. Pretty crazy. Game Boy Advance Video was interesting. They tried to make everything into a multimedia device. This was before iPods were becoming really popular. They had portable DVD players. I also remember this thing called Video Now, which used proprietary discs. That was interesting, but definitely not too practical now. A lot of things in the 2000s were just a relic of the time, and really haven't aged well. I really haven't watched too many Marvel movies. The one I saw, though, is Endgame, and it was at a theater in Greece. It was an outdoor theater, and it was interesting. Had it not been for my brother spoiling the plot, it would make it even more interesting. That's why I'm very cautious when it's spoilers. Not only can you watch SpongeBob on your Game Boy, you can watch SpongeBob on your SpongeBob Game Boy. I just replaced the shell on my AGS 101, it was a pearl blue, and I was trying to replace a power switch because it was having issues. But when I opened it, the shell broke, and apparently the shells I used for the pearl blue Game Boy Advance and the pearl pink would just snap and get brittle. But these shells are really good for the Game Boy Advance. Season 1 is very relaxing. Once you get to Season 2 and 3, that's when more crazy stuff happens. Like in Sailor Mouth, Chocolate with Nuts. Season 1 is relaxing, I will say that. Should you get Minnie to join the chat? Maybe if you can get Goofy. Also, speaking of cartoon characters, I always get comments saying I sound like Seuss from Gravity Falls, I sound like Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy. Who do I actually sound like? Because Ed I can kind of see, Seuss I can't see it. Also with this Fairly Odd Parents reboot, is Butch Hartman involved with it? Because I know Butch Hartman has become kind of polarizing. And also he left Nickelodeon. I don't know what they're doing, but Nickelodeon owns the rights to it, so they can do whatever they want. Unfortunately with cartoons, if you make something and have it on a network, they own it. One of the saddest cases was with a show called Making Fiends. This girl invented this series that she was clearly passionate about, and it was a good series too, but Nickelodeon treated it in the absolute worst way. It only got 6 episodes, I think only a few of them aired on Nicktoons, and considering they weren't doing anything with it, you would assume that she would just be able to move the series somewhere else, but that's not what happened. What they did is they just held on to the series, and she can't make new episodes of it. From what I've heard, working at Nickelodeon or having a show there is horrible, because they'll cancel your show if it's not as popular as SpongeBob. That is a very, very, very high standard. Only the Loud House was able to get close to that. Cartoon Network, if you ever have an idea for a cartoon, that seems like the better place for it to go. But considering that cable is becoming obsolete, you'd probably want to put it on a streaming service. Don't ruin Pikmin for me, Reese. I'm pretty sure you'd only like Pikmin if it was on the Switch. Oh wait, we do have 3 Deluxe. The Nintendo Switch is a great game console, so when you decide to store it away, make sure you're real safe with the way you store it. Also, the Boo in this game doesn't do what you'd expect. And I'm doing so well that Demeech is actually heading towards... or Demeech is probably the last racer in the game. You can get really good at this game, and you'll start to see racers that are far behind you. I'm gonna hold on to this, though, and I see Pac Jr., I think it is. I don't know who that character is, but maybe after this we'll just check out the world and see what the characters are. Pikmin is a masterpiece. It's best to play it on the Wii U though, because you can play 1 and 2 with the motion controls, and that makes the game even better. But the problem is, yeah, there is no problem. The Wii U Pikmin games are great. Pikmin 3 is a Wii U game. I'm just waiting for Pikmin 4. Okay, Jordan is telling me Cartoon Network seems to really insist on appealing to a younger audience. Some shows used to be more mature before they were either canceled or ended. I was thinking about Cartoon Network in the early 2010s, because I gotta be honest, I don't watch many cartoons anymore, but I know about how the animation industry works. What are my thoughts on WarioWare Get It Together? Hey look, it's a fairy from Pac-Man. Jay plays that joke was immature, but I couldn't help but laugh. Okay, if your voice was deeper, you'd sound very much like Seuss. I have heard of Oswald. I have Donkey Kong the Second. Donkey Kong 2 Jumpman Returns. Favorite 90s Nicktoon other than Spongebob? I would say probably the original Rocko's Modern Life. I think the wit was really good there, and it is kind of a precursor to what Spongebob turned out to be, but it's more edgy. Currently playing Pac-Man World 2. That is a good move right there. And we unlocked all the Pac-Man special items. So we're going to use the hammer. We're going to use the fairy from Pac-Land. I could be mistaken, but I think the power pellet actually replaced the star at one point, but oh, what the heck, we'll use the star. Mario Kart Arcade was fun. The first time I played it was at my local Dave & Buster's for my birthday back in 22 before. Yeah, that's good. You can go now, because everything's open. Just be cautious, that's all. Okay, so Riley is asking, what do you think is the best looking Wii U game? I'll definitely get into that, but I wanted to talk about WarioWare Get It Together, because that question was asked first, but WarioWare Get It Together is great. I can't think of a WarioWare game that disappointed me. Even Snapped was pretty cool. So with WarioWare Get It Together, it definitely is a more different take on WarioWare. I would assume at first when WarioWare was announced for the Switch, that it would be something along the lines of the other games, where it takes advantage of the controllers and capabilities of a system. Like maybe using the HD rumble and motion controls, but I'm glad they waited because it turns out Joy-Cons are defective pieces of crap. And it's a great game. Riley is actually one of the people I play the game with, and we had a blast playing it. We played it for hours. Usually we play WarioWare, Smash Bros is another one we play a lot, and we were playing Pokemon Sword and Shield the other day. That's how low everything has gone. Although we were trading Pokemon, so it was a little bit different. He's trying to complete the Pokédex, and I'm always telling him, look, what Pokemon do you need so I can end your suffering? But what is the best looking Wii U game? No questions asked, the original Mario Kart 8. That game was very impressive when it was revealed, and it is definitely the best looking Wii U game. The textures, models, everything about it is great. There's a reason why they got the developers of this game, Bandai Namco, to help with Mario Kart 8, and you can see some subtle references to the arcade games in Mario Kart 8, like how the characters hold the items in their hand instead of just having it go behind them like in the other Mario Kart games. And also the standard card in Mario Kart 8, it looks very similar to the one in Arcade Grand Prix. But Mario Kart 8, that is the best looking Wii U game. You could play Smash all day. Yeah, just don't do anything else. Except maybe just drink a gallon of Mountain Dew and slam Doritos. They have to be a different kind of Doritos though. They have to be the Cool Ranch. It can't be the sweet spicy chili or the taco flavored. Game & Wario is interesting. It's one of the few games that will always stay in Wii U purgatory, because if they were to port that game, it would have to be completely reworked. It's not like any other WarioWare either. The game is completely different. It's essentially kind of like Nintendo Land, where there's a few mini-games based around characters, and the title references a Game & Watch, meaning that the titles are more simple, like Ski, Bird is one of them, Patchwork. It's not the best Wario game, but it definitely is a good time. However, with the price now, I wouldn't recommend getting it physical. You probably just want to get a digital copy. See, the problem is, as much as I love the Wii U, and I told you this the other day, I just see Breath of the Wild as a Switch game, but that definitely is a great looking game. I'm guessing because they released on the same day. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out 3 years after Mario Kart 8. Breath of the Wild released the same exact day as the Switch. So, that's why I kind of consider Breath of the Wild to be a Switch game. But I do realize that it's a Wii U game at heart, and it was made for the Wii U. Are you guys excited for Nintendo to start selling GameCube games for $40 or $60 and calling it an HD port, when in reality it's just the ROM on a Switch card? I'm excited for that! I am so excited that I'm gonna sell my soul to Furukawa. Wait, I don't even have a soul. Hey Arnold, are you excited for the ports coming to the Switch of GameCube games? I grew up when there's Virtual Boy games. Okay, that answers that question. No, GameCube games would be great to have on the Switch, but if they do the Skyward Sword HD thing, that's a problem. Someone was telling me the other day that porting Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe is exactly the same as porting Mario Kart 8. Well, I gotta tell you something. Mario Kart 8 is a game that 8 million people owned, and the most you'd ever pay for a Wii U in Mario Kart 8 is $360 US. That's what you'd pay for it. A Mario Kart arcade cabinet costs about $10,000, and I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who owns Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe. Maybe if someone pulled a new dig Spongebob and lived at Dave & Buster's, maybe that would count, but porting an arcade game is not the same as porting a Wii U game. And if it's $60, that's also insult to injury. Unfortunately, I have seen Nick Avocado. He introduced you to Takis. I hope he introduces you to just learning to take care of yourself and cherish your life, because it's sad what he's doing. Hey Arnold. Oh please, I have no soul. What's my favorite arcade Pac-Man game? Okay, I know this is cliche as hell, but I have to say Miss Pac-Man. No, what you have to understand about the Wii U is that the Wii U is a console. Most households would only have one console per household. It's not like I had a Wii U, my sister had a Wii U, my brother had a Wii U. There was only one and we'd play multiplayer. That's how it works, so I guarantee you 8 million people own Mario Kart 8, but I can guarantee you 32 million people at the least played it. So it's not a new game by any stretch of the imagination. I don't get offended easily, but I will say this, it does annoy me when people pretend that Wii U owners don't exist. Depends when you got the Wii U. Donkey Kong eating Takis instead of bananas? What kind of Takis are we talking about? Fuego or Nitro? Because I'm gonna eat some of the Nitro ones after this. So, we are in the Rainbow Cup, which is the final cup of the game. You unlock it by beating every other cup, and these Rainbow Road variations are beautiful. Speaking of online, since they keep porting Wii U games to the Switch, they should port Miiverse to the... See, that is a good idea. Miiverse was hilarious. I think we'll play as the Great Yellow One. Or actually, we haven't played as Blinky, and he even has an airplane. I think it's referencing Pac-Man, because he does that. See ya, Ketchup? Maybe if you come back, you'll catch up on what we're gonna play next. Haha. I don't like blue heat, mainly because I just have a problem with blue food. Because there's nothing blue in nature. Even blueberries aren't really blue, they're more purple. Kinda like how a red squirrel is orange. I don't understand how colors work sometimes. Alright, you're gonna see something amazing. We also have the snow cloud, and since Christmas is coming up, we'll use that. Yeah, I knew it was a Pac-Land reference. I agree, that is the best Rainbow Road song. Also, did you see my comment on your Starman Mario Kart compilation yesterday? Water is clear. The only reason why it looks blue is because of what's under the sea. Like, for example, if you live in the US, the beach water will be more of a green color. But if you go somewhere like in the Mediterranean, like any of the beaches in Greece, it's actually blue. You can see it. The water is a lot deeper in Greece, too. If you're going to a beach in the United States, it's more shallow. But in Greece, it's completely different. And it's cold, too. I know some people who go swimming there all year long. So that's pretty interesting. I couldn't do that. Also, Metal Blinky is a thing. Don't get any ideas, Nintendo. And I'm just noticing that there are a bunch of toads hanging out here. This game really has a lot of attention to detail when it comes to the graphics. But the Rainbow Road tracks are great to say the least. This one actually takes place during the day. Does any other Rainbow Road track take place during the day? Because they usually take place in space or like night, and even at night the tracks look really good. Yeah, I heard Nintendo Minute ended, but at the same time, I didn't really watch Nintendo Minute. It certainly isn't a minute long. Come to think of it, I really don't watch a lot of videos about Nintendo this year. Yeah, I saw the orange Nintendo 64. You are a man of culture. Do you know how to replace the analog stick in a Nintendo 64 controller? Because I just installed the GameCube one, or the style one, in pretty much all my Nintendo 64 controllers that I use, and it makes a huge difference. It makes them more durable, and it makes games even better. You might have a few issues if you're playing something with precise aiming like GoldenEye, but considering I'm assuming you play mostly platformers, then it's no problem. Honestly, when it comes to Nintendo 64, the rarer games are my favorite. Jordan, why does Donkey Kong's anniversary matter when Groose is a thing? If Nintendo during the DS and Wii era was the Krusty Krab, then Nintendo in the Switch era would be Krabby on Mondays. Alright, so we're almost done with this track. Toad's blowing bubbles.
Hey Toad, can you blow bubbles with your spit? Like this, watch.
You're not trying.
You'll love it. It's fun.
I think this Rainbow Road track is called Rainbow Downhill. None of them are called Rainbow Road, but let's be real, we know where the inspiration is. Also, it uses the 8-bit sprites in a unique manner. It's just accenting the course. You see a lot of cool planetoids based on Mario Kart items. Does anyone know if the Cat Mario show is still a thing? It has the Cat Mario and Peach puppets. And I remember that was kind of weird, but that was only in Japan. The less you own, Eugene, the better. I thought it was the less you know. Was it the less you own? No, YouTube removing dislikes feels like the dumbest thing on earth. This is especially a problem when it comes to tutorials. We know the real reason why they did it. They did it to protect corporations. I wouldn't be too surprised if Nintendo decided to just pay off YouTube to make their Nintendo Switch Online videos look good. That's probably what happened. Soshi and Patrick watched The Annoying Orange together. No, because in that episode, what was it called? I'm trying to remember. The Krabby on Mondays episode. I think I'll remember what it's called. I just need to think about it. I can't remember it. But that episode was essentially... Oh, selling out, that's what it was. Mr. Krabs sells the Krusty Krab and it turns into a corporation and doesn't have any charm. And the Krabby Patties are made with gray goop or something like that.
What's this icky gray goop?
It's what Krabby Patties are made out of. They did something a little bit similar to that in the episode Not Normal, where when Spongebob becomes completely normal, he just prints out the Krabby Patties. I'd say that was one of the few episodes in Season 6 that was actually good. Also, SpongeBob's design when he's normal, hi, how are you, is just hilarious. So you only get the mushrooms here, and they work exactly like you would expect them to. Even though this is Arcade Grand Prix, some of the items from Mario Kart are still here that are mainstays and work like how you would expect them to. The green shell, the mushroom, and the star work exactly how you would expect. Yeah, I remember the episode of SpongeBob where they have the Krabby Patties in the microwave, Similar to the White Castle ones, if you have a microwavable thing, it's never going to be as good as getting it from a restaurant. Come to think of it, I hate using the microwave to make food. I'll just put it in the air fryer or the oven. Is it a good idea to microwave this? Universal owns Illumination, yeah. From what I've heard, what Illumination does is they make movies really cheap, and most of the budget goes towards celebrity actors. I'll give Sonic credit for this. The voice actress for Tails is the one from the games. That is good news to hear, and the second movie seems like it's really taking more inspiration from the games. Because as good as the Sonic movie was, it definitely is kind of a buddy comedy that really didn't feel like a Sonic movie, and you could put almost any other character in it, and it'd be pretty much the same, but this one seems to be taking inspiration from the games. Yes, Splinter is a terrible episode. Sega does what Nintendo don't. Still. Face Freeze is an episode some people hate. I didn't really see too many issues with it. I'm guessing it's because the face was stuck throughout the entire episode. There was an episode in Season 1, Neptune's Spatula, where Patrick somehow got his face on his behind, and it's like that for the entire episode, and it's uncomfortable to watch because you expect these characters to have themselves revert back after they get hit. If you watch Tom and Jerry, it's like that, but it's just very bizarre. I don't like that episode either. That's one of the few episodes from the first 3 seasons I actively don't like. It was just boring. Alright, so we did not win this, but I will be taking a bathroom break, so I will be right back. The more news that comes out about Legends Arceus, the more I realize how much potential it has and how Game Freak can take the creative idea and run for it. I hope it's a Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild the series needs, but unfortunately, with Sword and Shield, if that's any indicator, it was definitely not a good move, but I'm hoping they learn their lesson. The budget for Illumination movies is a chip, a penny, and a used napkin. Also, Jordan, I don't agree with you there, because Nintendo nowadays doesn't produce high-quality hardware. It's cheap and it's overpriced. Alright, guys. I'm gonna be back. I was gonna say, I'm back, like in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. But, you'll get to see Mario play Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix. Demeech has returned. Alright, let's see some of the comments. Alright. Donkey Kong, the second I'm worried about because Illumination has a bad track record. I'm assuming that it's going to be a meme. I can look up how many Illumination movies there are. I'm sure the first ones were Despicable Me and Horton Hears a Who. Both of those were quite good. I wonder if the Minions will cameo in the Mario movie. Okay, Despicable Me was her first film, so I was right about that. Okay, Despicable Me, Hop, The Lorax, Despicable Me 2, Minions, A Secret Life of Pets, Sing, Despicable Me 3, The Grinch, Secret Life of Pets 2. So they've made 13 movies since 2009. And it turns out they didn't make Horton Hears a Who. I thought they did because they also made the Grinch movie that was new, and that was the most boring movie I've ever seen. The one with Jim Carrey is way more interesting. Same goes for The Cat in the Hat too. A lot of people hate that movie, but I'm one of the few who actually likes it. Minion Rush Nintendo collab. If they ever do mobile games again, sure. Yeah, not having Charles Martinet in the Mario movie is insulting to say the least. He said he'll voice Mario till it's game over, but apparently that's not enough dedication to Mr. Furukawa. We need to have Chris Pratt as Mario! Even if Lou Albano, God rest his soul, was still alive, or Walker Boone, sadly he passed too, so God rest his soul as well, even if those were the voice actors, it would still sound like Mario. Mario in the 80s is different than Mario now. In the 80s is like, I'm Mario, I'm here to clean your toilet. But now it's a me, Mario, wahoo! But still, his voice is iconic, and Charles Martinet has proved many times he can speak full sentences as Mario. It would be surprising the first few times you hear it, but after that, the initial shock wears off, you get used to it. He better voice at least Wario or Waluigi. It sucks that he's limited to just cameos. I couldn't imagine how he felt. Maybe like in the Spongebob episode, as seen on TV, but instead of him not being aware that he actually wasn't a movie star like SpongeBob thought he was, it would be the emo version of that episode. Also, Soshi, answer this for me because I know you're really into Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix. The Rainbow Road in this game is different than the one in Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 1, because from what I remember, that one had an aquatic Rainbow Road that kind of was based on Atlantis, but this one doesn't. I could be mistaken, so that's why I'm asking you. Furukawa said no. We need to just listen to Furukawa's word as gospel and never criticize it. Then we can all be Nintendo shills together. He even did voice acting for Wario, and WarioWare Get It Together, a little bit of that. But in Gold, he spoke in full sentences. There were cutscenes too. The cutscenes in Get It Together were more interesting with the animation and just the plots, but Get It Together sadly didn't have as much voice acting as I would like. The Jimmy T cutscene is really weird, but it's great. The Jimmy T cutscenes are just weird in general. If you've ever played WarioWare Mega Party games on the GameCube, he has to choose between a girl and dancing, and he does the right thing and chooses dancing. If a girl won't accept him for that, then he had no right, or that girl was not deserving of Jimmy T. Oh, it's a third and fourth round? We'll see. There was some track, I think. We'll see. I also love how this has exclusive carts for the characters. Usually they're based on the characters too, like the Pac-Man plane. There's also the Wario car from WarioWare. How does it feel knowing Namco cares more about the WarioWare representation than Nintendo does? It wouldn't surprise me if they developed a Mario Kart game and included characters like Mona, Jimmy T, 9volt, Dribble and Spitz, of course, because those are characters who own a taxi to begin with. And also you get a lot of references to Super Mario Land here, like with the Koopa shell and the carrot. Flood, I think they got wrong though, because this seems... If I can choose the items next, we'll use Flood. It seems like they decided that Flood would be the villain. Which is more... Oh, Planet Sheen. No questions asked. Because at least Planet Sheen had characters to balance Sheen out. It had that space monkey character. I forget what his name was, but he was a good character. Dorcas, I also remember him. It was not a good show, but it was watchable. The Patrick Show, I watched 2 episodes, and those were the longest 11 minutes of my life. Both shows. I don't like oversimplified logos, you should know that. But it's whatever at this point. It's not as bad as the Pringles one. It might have third-party characters, since this has third-party characters. Any exclusive characters in Mario Party 3? Are we talking about those kind of third-party characters? No, you're allowed to have your opinion, Mr. Legend. This isn't Twitter. This is YouTube, so you're free to share your opinion. Planet Sheen is not watchable. I watched a few episodes of it, but I never liked it. If you guys ever decide to create your own show, do not have a comedic relief as a protagonist. It never works. I can't name a single case where it works. Oh no, the Pringles logo is in Canada. You guys have ketchup chips, so you need a little bit of suffering. Yeah, Planet Sheen was not a good episode. Not a good show. That episode sounds terrible, though, where they were trying to get off a tower for 5 minutes. Yeah, it just went on for years. Okay, so there is kind of the ancient Greece-inspired Rainbow Road, and I love that. I don't see the underwater section, so we'll see if it's in the 4th round. I don't think it's here, though. You also get these really cool items where you can electrocute the player using it as a hammer. It's like a lightsaber, but far more dangerous. This is serious, we can make you delirious, you should have a healthy fear of us, too much of us is dangerous. Yeah, Planet Sheen got the Nicktoons treatment, meaning that Nickelodeon moved it over to Nicktoons, so essentially that's the purgatory for Nicktoons. If a show gets moved there, it will end very soon. I think the Fairly OddParents got moved to Nicktoons, and then it ended. Sadly, that show, despite how long it was on for, never really had a proper ending. The last episode was not interesting at all. If they ended it with Channel Chasers, I think that would be good. Or even the episode where Timmy introduces Cosmo and Wanda to his parents. But it's very weird that a lot of Nickelodeon series don't have a proper ending. I think it used to be a rule where you couldn't have one. I know with Angry Beavers, their show got cancelled, and the ending that was proposed was nothing short of incredible. It's on YouTube, it's only audio, but it just has the creators doing the voice acting, talking about how they know their show is getting cancelled, and they realize that they're cartoon characters. Yeah, it did have half of its season on Nicktoons, and isn't that also when it moved to Flash? Very few episodes were made in Flash, but I remember them, and they looked terrible. The last time I was in Canada was 10 years ago, and I loved it there. I definitely want to go back. I remember, though, they didn't have Nickelodeon, because usually when you went to a hotel in the 2000s, 2010s, very early 2010s, they never had good shows on cable. They didn't even have a DVD or VHS player, even inputs on the front where you could bring your own. What they did have was ways where you could pay for movies, and they also had video games you'd pay for too, with the LodgeNet service. They actually teamed up with Nintendo for that quite a few times with the Super Nintendo LodgeNet thing. You had a really weird hybrid controller of the Super Nintendo and Genesis. Then we got the Nintendo 64 one, where that was literally just a Nintendo 64 controller, although it had a more durable analog stick. And then we got a GameCube one. The last time I saw one was 2013. Yeah, YTV and Teletoon I remember, because I was watching it there, and they also had Family Guy, I think on the same channel. It was great in Canada. I was in Toronto, I stayed at the Sheraton with the Eaton Center. Very cool. Talkies never fell. They only rose, because before, I never heard of Talkies. Yeah, YTV did have Spongebob, I remember that. 2011 was when I was there, and I don't think Nickelodeon was a thing in Canada. Teletoon was, I remember that for sure. The 2000s was an interesting time to say the least, because it was kind of a hybrid of the 90s and 2010s, where a lot of modern technology was in development, but a lot of things like VHS players and cable were still used. So we're going to use Evil Flood, we're going to use the Wrench, and we're going to use the fake Waluigi coin. Yeah, Canada seems very nice. It was very nice when I went. I can't wait to go back. Also, you have actual Cadbury chocolate, so that's great. So I don't think the underwater sections are here. Oh, he's got a wrench! Take him down! I mean, I remember most of the 2000s, but I would say that overall, without nostalgia, the early 2010s were the best modern part of history. But the 2000s, it definitely had a lot of crappy moments in the real world, but entertainment was better. I do agree with you there. You would never go to Paris unless you have a girlfriend. Yeah, Paris just seems like the best place to go when you're a single woman and having a midlife crisis. It's just, they had a Family Guy episode about that, so that's why I brought it up. The only countries I've been to in Europe were Greece mainly, because my family's from there. And I did stop in Germany and Zurich for the airport. Very nice countries. I would love to just spend more time there. So I definitely do plan on traveling to more countries. The most memorable country, of course, I went to was Greece, but Turkey was also very interesting. I was only there as part of a cruise, but that was really the first culture shock I felt, because Greece essentially was like, I know the culture, I know a lot of the language, no difference. Canada is very similar to the US, except you guys are smart enough to have actual Kinder Eggs, and there's a lot more variety when it comes to food. But it is very similar to the US. Also, you guys don't have Target anymore. And you don't even have Zellers. But, yeah, Turkey was interesting. It was Kusadasi. Turkey is a country that's both in Europe and Asia, but this one was the Asian part. And if you don't know the history about Turkey, Greece and Turkey are rival countries. In Greece, if you're a male, you have to be in the military when you're 19, and you have to train there for, I believe, a few months. It's changed a little bit, but that's why I haven't gotten Greek citizenship. You can stay there for 6 months, go on a cruise, and then come back. But if you want permanent citizenship, I think you have to be part of the military. Being Greek in Turkey, I didn't feel oppressed or anything. It just kind of felt different. There are a lot of things that had Greek writing, and this was land that the Ottoman Empire stole. So, unfortunately, when they were saying, this is part of us, and it had Greek writing, it just screamed to me, copying someone else's homework and putting your name on it. But I had no problem there, the tour guide was great. Definitely an interesting experience. And not a lot of people spoke English, surprisingly. You shouldn't go to another country and expect them to speak English. That's a lot of problem American tourists have, because sometimes they'll go to countries and expect it just to be like America. What's the worst is when they go to restaurants assuming they'd have the same products in the US, but they don't. My mom went to Greece, and a coworker jumped in and invited herself. She just said, hey, I'm going to Greece, and then the coworker talked to her dad about it. Hey, I'm going to Greece too! It was a very weird situation, but you know, she went across the island, and instead of enjoying the wonderful Greek food, she was looking for tacos and cheesecake, and she didn't have it. 2019 was a great year. I don't have Nicktoons Racing yet on a console. I would have to play it on PC, but I prefer consoles. Oh, there's 2021 A and B? Do you guys think that YouTube will eventually have the dislikes return? I think that there's enough backlash about it. The thing is, they used to discuss things that people hated the idea of, like paid subscriptions to channels, but they never went through. but a lot of stuff is going through on YouTube now. I think we'll end this off with the only Mario Kart character that matters. Oh, you got me, Anton. You got Toys R Us, although we're gonna get Toys R Us back next year. Yeah, I don't know why the PS1 wouldn't be expensive. The good news is I don't have to get the Namco Museum game for the PS5. See, I would move to Vimeo, had it be, or if it was actually a true competitor to YouTube. That's a place that you go when you try to watch a TV show and YouTube copyright claims it. You go to either Dailymotion or Vimeo, where it's more lax. Yeah, it was clearly a way to just protect corporations. Dislikes are helpful. You get to understand what you're doing wrong, and also, it's good for tutorials. The reason why I made the Pokemon event tutorial is because a lot of the tutorials I saw were good, but they were just dragging on for so long. It wasn't straight to the point, it was just mindless rambling, probably to get it to the 8-minute mark so it could be monetized. And with the shorts, they're only getting monetized now, but still, I wanted to provide something that would be useful and good for people to use to get event Pokemon. They're introducing the shorts creator thing, and as much as I dislike TikTok, I can't deny that that's the only platform for videos that has even come close to rivaling YouTube. So out of, let's see, 15... yeah, 16 years later they pretty much had a rival. YouTube was without competition for the longest time. So now they need to do things to bring in more creators again, because a lot are just moving to TikTok. The problem I have with TikTok one of the problems just resorts back to my childhood, where there was debate all the time that Spongebob would decrease attention spans. And after all that, the website that has 15 40-second videos that will decrease your attention span is the hot new thing. Mega Chats enjoy Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix, but Super Chats own a machine. I know what I'm getting when I have a midlife crisis. If I knew how to do it, I would find a Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe machine and get the US ROM, because that's never been anywhere, so anyone would be able to get to play it. Or I'd just have a meeting with Nintendo and Bandai Namco, probably Bandai Namco, because I know they'd listen better. Nintendo would probably just put their fingers in their ears and say, "Nyeh, nyeh, 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 nyeh." Even the annoying orange would be a better listener. And he'd probably just make random noises throughout the entire conversation. Yeah, I would recommend telling Bandai Namco how you feel about the Mario Kart arcade games and how you want them to be on a system. I thought they would be perfect for the Wii U because the Wii U gamepad has a camera, and one thing you can do in the game, unfortunately you can't hear, is you can take a picture of yourself, and when you're playing with your friends, your picture shows up when you hit them with an item. Usually I make a really ridiculous face. I'll probably post a picture of it on Instagram. I remember for Waluigi, I always do a really stupid face to look like him. So whenever I hit an opponent when I'm playing with my friends, or just hit them with an item, they see it. Also, if you're playing Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix, any of them via unofficial means, there's no multiplayer, so this is a single-player experience. I mean, there are a ton of unlockables, so it's still great, but at the same time, you can't have a Mario Kart without multiplayer. A guy married his DS? Well, I'm glad he married a DS instead of a Switch. I guaranteed the marriage would last longer. Alright, so we cleared the Rainbow Cup, and we are gonna end this with the mission against Metallic Mario. Only this time, the Metal Mario is actually cool. So let's see some comments. And we cleared every cup in 150cc. Yeah, it's just ridiculous that they got rid of the dislike thing. Nobody likes it except for Nintendo. Yeah, they ported Cruise and Blast, which was great. Alright, Soshi, I'm gonna ask you, is there any way to play Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix, any of them, with multiplayer, via unofficial means, or you will never be able to play it? Because with things like the Game Boy Advance link cable support, a lot of emulators don't allow compatibility with that. Even the Wii, you can't use the Game Boy player. But this character is Robo Mario, and unlike Metal Mario, this character is actually very cool. The problem with characters like Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach isn't essentially the characters themselves, it's that they take up spots in a roster for more deserving characters like this, and Robo Mario looks super cool. I know they have Metal Sonic in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, but seeing Robo Mario as a rival would be super cool. He's only appeared in the arcade games, sadly, and he was also made by EGAD. Wow. The lore of Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix is interesting to say the least. Yeah, I saw something that DX might have multiplayer, because some of it's online. When I play Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe on Techno Parrot, it was an absolute nightmare to set up. I had to get the game, it wouldn't run, then I had to install all different Windows drivers to get the game running. It runs natively on Windows, so that's why it works without lag, but at the same time, having it on the Switch with multiplayer and everything would be so much better. So, we're gonna end the stream here. We have come to the finish line, and I want to ask you guys, should I play the Master Cup in Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 2 next? Or should I play Mario Kart Super Circuit? Or if you have a game suggestion, I'll definitely think about it. As long as it's a game I like. Are you ever going to post the video, Soshi? Because I'd love to see it. Also, speaking of Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix, I'm going to need your help with something when it comes to the game, because I know you know a lot about it. And I remember you made fan art before, so you probably could send it to my... Or I think I have your email, right? Okay, everyone wants to... No! Jay Plays Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is not allowed! We're watching the credits now, so we can see who was behind it. So as I said, this is mainly by Bandai Namco. Oh, that's beautiful. Waluigi and Demeech get artwork from. They know that the characters are great. Yeah, I'm not certain yet, but there might be a major video I'm doing about Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix. I have two of them planned. This one's different, but one of them is Mario Kart 9. If it doesn't happen, these would be great games to have, and I'm going to talk about the Mario Kart Arcade games. And one of Jay Play's few good ideas being porting Mario Kart Tour without loot boxes. I'll mention that, but this one's a surprise project. So I'll definitely ask you some questions about it. Not sure if it's going to go through yet, but it's going to be cool. So Miyamoto was just given a special thanks, so this game was pretty much just the only involvement Nintendo had was seeing if the game fit the quality standard of Mario Kart, and I gotta be honest, it didn't. It exceeded it. It is so cool. So yeah, we're definitely gonna play more Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix. You know, I would rather play Sticker Star because, at least with that game, the rage would be funny. What's your opinion on Mario Baseball? Look, Bandai Namco can touch any Mario series and I'm sure it will be great. However, if they make another Mario Baseball, they gotta have Justin Berti as the announcer, because he was an announcer for the MLB in Japan. Mario Kart 9 Deluxe. The good ending, Mario Kart 9, the Ultimate Mario Kart. The bad ending, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Deluxe. The only new additions will be Yellow Topaz Wario, and a track based on Mario Golf Super Rush. Donkey Kong the Second, where a redesigned character can become a redesigned character. I'm not sure what you mean, but I'll think about that. So the way this game saves, before I go, is that some of the arcade machines would dispense a memory card, and I think it was the size of a credit card. I've never seen one in real life before. The machines, every one of them I've seen, were just insert a token or swipe a card and play a few rounds. But in Japan, you could actually save. Even on Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe, you had the Banana Passport. I thought it was Banana Passport for the longest time, but Bandai Namco, Banana Passport would be good for another Donkey Kong game. Oh, it's a parody of Chuck E. Cheese? Mario Kart 9 Definitive Edition Reloaded, and Knuckles featuring Dante from Devil May Cry series. Nintendo Dario was telling me he's seen the ones with the memory cards, but none of them I've ever seen have. When it comes to playing Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix in the wild, I've only played Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe, which is at pretty much every Dave & Buster's, and Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 2. However, there is a barcade near me that has Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix, the first one, so I might play it eventually, but if you can play it on the Wii, there's not so much of the urgency. However, with Arcade Grand Prix Deluxe, that has the Namco Cup and the Donkey Kong Cup, which isn't in the Techno Parrot one. With Banjo-Kazooie Rehydrated. Alright, that wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed looking at some of the best tracks in Mario Kart, some of the funniest items, some of the coolest items, and if you can, play Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix, any of them. They're so much fun, they're so different, and they're really cool. So anyways guys, thanks for watching, and keep calm and dada on. I'm a gonna win!